Welcome to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, Lesego M. On today's episode, we have the Gauteng Chairperson of Arise political party, Lillian Mothoa. And on our guest panel, we have Siyabonga Mshibi, who is the Chairperson of the South African Youth and Property Association. How are you, Lillian?
I'm good, in yourself, Lesego?
I'm good. So for people who don't know who Lillian is, can you please in a few words tell us who Lillian is?
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Lillian Mothoa. I'm based in Gauteng province. I'm also part of the new political movement called Arise South Africa, where we just want to call all the youth and say, let's start our new government. Let's start making transformation in our own country. So that's a small bit about who we are.
Yeah, so for people, as you did mention that the new political movements rather, can you please briefly tell us about your mission and vision statements?
Okay, so our vision statement for Arise South Africa is to commit to the unlocking untapped potential that lies within Gauteng people. That we're saying to them, we have got potentials, we can do this. Let's unlock those potentials. And we're also envisioning the future where every corner of our region, we say we want to see radiant hope and prosperity and unity in Gauteng. And also unleashing hope for those who have lost hope in our own communities. But we say, as Arise, let's rise up. And also looking at our goal. Our goal is to say, let's fly like eagles. Let's bring the far-reaching changes in order to restructure our province and also our country as a whole, and also restoring institutions, moral values, infrastructure, and also our own people. We're seeing that Arise political movement is a spectrum that fills with young professionals and talented leaders. We want to work together collectively.
Oh, no, that's interesting that you say that. So, I think my next question would be, given what you've told me about the mission and vision statement, so can you please trickle it down as to, in the next year or two, these are the plans that we plan to achieve as a political movement?
So, things that we're trying to achieve is that, firstly, we seek to lay foundation so that we can all have a better future, ensuring that there is a positive transformation. Also, we're also looking at the poverty. We're looking at unemployment. We're looking at the young people. We're saying, let's all gather and bring all our fresh ideas and assist the Gauteng economy or even our country in general. And we're also saying that let's bring our own policies. Let's bring our own policies where we can work together, show each other where we can instill our ideas and bring them to reality. That's what we're saying.
Wow, interesting. And I do share that you did mention something about investing in the youth as far as businesses and stimulating the economy, etc. So I was listening to an interview with the guy by the name of Bob Petkoff, who listed some of the top 10 stolen cars in Gauteng. And do you have any initiatives that you plan to have in place to make sure that you combat that type of a crime in Gauteng?
Please repeat yourself.
I was saying that there's an interview of a gentleman by the name of Bobby Petkoff. He enlisted 10 of the most stolen vehicles in Gauteng. So, listening to you speak about some of these initiatives, do you have any measures to make sure that you combat crime in Gauteng specifically?
Firstly, yes, crime rate is very high in our own country. It's because we are not in revolutionary of the 4IR. We've got police where they're just sitting there. They say they try their best, but all I'm saying is that let's bring up a system that will protect our own people. Let's bring out the system, the infrastructure of our own roads, where we make sure that every street, every corner, that there's surveillances, there's CCTVs for safety. How are we going to elevate crime if there's no such innovations? How are we going to do that? That is always saying all the youth, let's bring all our ideas and minds and our experiences and our own talent, whatever we learn, let's bring it to the table. Let's see how we can fix our own country, our own provinces. So I believe also working collectively with the community leaders. We have to work with our own community leaders. Say, this is a situation. If we found any kind of a crime in our own community, how do we take this? And also the police must also work aligned with the community also. Not just them doing it by themselves, but also attending the people of our own communities. This is the way we can try to mitigate it.
So I think Lillian just spoke there. So, but I'll just move on to the next question. You know, you did mention that something about police, and I just wanted to step in and ask you to say there's people outside who are looking at this from the outside, speaking about the issue of coding and all of that, and saying that maybe if we can like increase the salary of the police in our country, maybe that we can alleviate some of the crime rates that we have by having police reinforcing the law in our country. But as of current, they can't reinforce because the salary is too low and they have families to provide for. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so the salaries is an issue. So meaning that their enforcement is based on the salary also. Meaning that what you're trying to say is that they cannot work and commit to protect their own people because of money. There's no protection if there's increase of money.
So I'm saying that the situation as it is now, the situation as it is now, police are being bribed.
Yeah.
You see, if we can close that gap, that monetary gap between the police and the people who bribe by increasing the salaries, by so doing, we alleviate the crime in our country. So do you think that's a route maybe we can consider taking in future?
Yes, and also there must be accountability also. If the police are caught, they mustn't just be locked down for a night and then the next day they're out. We'll say, yes, let's also accommodate them. Let's make them have some salaries increment in it. And also let's take this thing to a level that there must be accountability where even if the situation we add while our community and the systems trying to say, okay, we'll accommodate the police, increasing their salaries, let's also say to them, be accountable, protect your own state. This is not just the people you don't know, they are your brothers, they are your sisters, they are our grandparents. So let's also commit. Remember, they pledge when they start going to the training. They say, yes, I will protect. But also we know that a bribery is real. But let's also report these people. When we do report them, may the matter also be taken serious. Because we need also, we as the people, the normal citizens, they don't have any influence to say, we've got the money for you, here it is, protect us. But it's also up to the government to meet that level, to say, yes, let's enforce this. Let's enforce this gap that is open, that is making more collaboration of corruption between the crime and the police.
No, I see you. So now I want you and I to discuss, the party's plans for social welfare.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I want you and I to discuss the political movements, plans for social welfare and support for vulnerable communities in Gauteng. Can you indulge us on that?
Oh, okay. So our movement has been through different regions all over our country. Yes, all over our country, and also here in Gauteng. We realized that most of people in the community, there's problems with healthcare. There's problem with healthcare, and more than 50% of our residents depend on the public healthcare. We find that our community's health and dignity and lives is at risk. The hospitals, there's no compliance. If you can even check, there were many hospitals, they didn't even compile to 23 regulations. They couldn't even compile to it. They were just doing their own thing. They were not meeting any standard. The system is failing us in this health system. So we're saying to our people, and also we're saying to the Department of Health and also Occupational Health and Safety, we say, let's take the measure, let's restructure, let's expand our information technology innovators. We are saying, let's look at where there's shortage of human resources. We've got high unemployment rate, but still they're saying there's human resource shortage. If you go to Tshwane, we had an incident there. We still have 5 to attend it. The community are complaining. They're saying there's shortage of staff. The staff overworking. But people are flocking, more than 200 are flocking in the hospital, but with only few professional doctors and nurses. So we are saying, let's structure and facilitate new coordination system. Let's have the new transitioning policies and legislature, and let's encourage youth that are unemployed. We've got so many youth that are unemployed who are in the health department, but they're yet unemployed. They're yet not having spaces in such departments. So that is one of the things that we are worried about. And also unemployment rate here in Gauteng itself, it was second quarter, we're having 62.10%. So we're saying, as Arise South Africa, let's stop this unemployment by creating new industry. That's a lot. It's a lot. So let's create new industries so that we've got resources, natural resources, we've got minerals. If you check Gauteng, it was one of the provinces that was saying it's rich. But where are we rich at? Because still we've got unemployment.
Yeah. Well, so I hear you.
Yes. So it's like our own government is saying there's nothing for you guys. Our resources is limited. Our resources is not limited. We just need them to unleash those things, or give us as youth, give us the space to enter into this space and show you how it's done. Because it's obviously the senior citizens are still there. They say there's nothing enough here. There's no enough resources. But we're saying there is resources. Let's utilize it. Let's empower our community. Let's start building structures and also promote entrepreneurship spirit in our community. There are those who've got tons and tons of businesses, local businesses, but they don't have any recognition. So it's just a community. Let's work together.
That's true. That's true. Like you just mentioned that. Now that you just mentioned that, I have a follow-up question. That we have the Jews in our country, there's Indians in our country, and they seem more united than we are as Black people. So are there some of the things that we are learning from those communities and we are implementing as a majority in this country?
So as Black people, one thing I realize is that we have to know how to unite. We have to know how to work among each other. We have to understand the structure that you are not just helping a brother, you are also helping the economy. And by supporting that local business, it can create jobs for other people. We're trying to say, let's create jobs. I support you. Tomorrow I'm able to employ your sister. So as majority, we are not getting much service from the government. But they say there is BEE. They say there's a system for first Black child. But we don't see that. How are they implementing it? So we're saying, let's create space for us youth so that we can get opportunity to transform our own communities. Give us the chances. Support young and growing their businesses. Okay, so we say, okay, as you live together as Arise South Africa, let's implement our own policies. Let's start our own initiative to align with the agenda that will promote strategic development in our own communities.
No, I hear you. So for people who just joined us on the line, we have the Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Movement, Lillian Mothoa. After the break, we'll be asking her more questions. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, the Lesego M. On today's episode, we have Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Movement, Lillian Mothoa, and we were supposed to be joined by South African Youth and Property Association Chairperson, Siyabonga Mshibe, but unfortunately, he won't be able to join us due to the reception. I think there's power failures. He'll be joining on the third segment of the podcast. Going back to the conversation that you and I were having about entrepreneurs and stimulating the economy, I just want to find out your take. There's issues around, foreign nationals, Pakistani people, but my friend, as we may know them in the hood, they come up with shops and stuff, and some of these things they're selling, they're not really good for our health, and which is a health hazard on its own. Do you have anything to say, like, how are we using their strategy of how they are building in our country to benefit our people? Because as it is, I don't think that some of the products that are being sold, those guys are paying tax, I don't think so. I just want to hear your thoughts around that. And a lot of people that I've heard a lot of outcry from people such as the advocate Ike Kumalo. He was saying a lot around that. I just want to hear your thought and if you have any plans to combat that.
Okay. About this foreign nationals being in our country, it's really taking its toll to us as the citizens. We are trying to say that they are not registered. They are not even on the system. They don't even have permits. Most of them, they don't even have permits because why? They don't have they're not legal. So it's also our own people also accommodating them into our own spaces. We say, yes, I've got a space. Come and sell in my own place. Here's a garage. Start selling there. So it starts with us before we start pointing out, and then it starts with us accommodating them. Say, yes, I've got a space for you. Start selling. And another thing is that they're selling mostly the counterfeits. And once they are caught, they just want to be arrested for a few hours and come back. And same people that are supporting them is the ones that are complaining. So how are we going to work around that? If as citizens in our own country, the foreign nationals are just influxing, taking over, but we're not doing anything about it. We say, let's work, let's create our own ways to start our own productivity. Let's start reaching out to our community leaders, say, this is the situation. How do we work around it? They are not legally here. They are selling things that are not even legal. They're also creating some new system that is causing young generation to start selling illegal substances. and that it's also affecting us. So what are we doing about it? As community, as Gauteng region, we say, let's work together. Let's wake up. These people are taking over, but we're not doing anything. Yet we're saying there's no employment. Yet we're saying there's no entrepreneurial spirit. They're taking over. So we as citizens of South Africa, we come first. We come first before anybody else. So we're also trying to say to our own government, let's create some funding for our people to have some capital to start out their own businesses. Let's support making sure that their business days just to reduce, tax income to these businesses so that they can create our own investment. We can create more employment of our own people and probably hire them. Not make them our bosses, but hire them. But we are mostly encouraging our own citizens should come first. Hire each other. Have a system that says, okay, here you are, this is supporting funding. How are you going to work around it? Not just give them money. Remember they say there's this quote that says, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat it for a day, it'll feed him for a day. But if you teach, that's what Arete is saying, we can teach you how to fish and feed yourself for a lifetime. So that is how we want to work together with government, businesses, the small, medium enterprises. We say, let's work together. Let's create these policies that will give our youth the power, the courage to stimulate our own economy, to create businesses. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I just want to step into another very important point that now that you mentioned that, I was looking at the land in Zimbabwe. The access to information is how you acquire land in Zimbabwe. It's very easy. You simply go onto the internet and Google how you get land, you get the prices, etc. But in South Africa, this enlightened me in South Africa. So we are saying...
For you cutting, Lesego, can you hear me?
I can hear me now.
Yes.
I was saying... Yes, I was saying in Zimbabwe, to get information as to how to acquire land and how much the land is, you can get that easy on the net, right? But in South Africa, to get that information, you have to struggle, you have to have connections, right? And yet our government is saying that agriculture is a place to be as young people. You know what I mean? For commercial or subsistence farming, this is a place to be, but we don't have access to that information. Then will grant us the access to the land. You know what I mean? So now I'm asking you to say, like, what do you think? What do you think is the reason that people don't have access to that information?
Oh, okay. Firstly, I would say that our government is having this idea of saying there's nothing for everybody. Things are limited, but we know they are resources. They're not unleashing those resources. They're just sitting there. As long as they've got their big pockets, they're satisfied with it. But they're not thinking of us, where we are. I mean, we've got high population also in our country. We are reaching close to 60 million. But still, they're not making anything about it. So all we're saying is that let's be transparent to our own people. Let's be transparent to our own people and make it transparency that people so that people can be able to have accessibility to land, have accessibility to housing that is affordable for everyone. But their land they're talking about, there's a place around Centurion. It's just abandoned, but they're not doing anything with that land. But we are saying as Arise South Africa, there's a land. How about we use that land and start making industries or making it homes for people. We're making a land where people can stay there, make their own residence. They're not using the land as its limited resources. It's not for everybody, but it's just abandoned. Yeah. How can we say there's nothing for everyone when the resources is abandoned? The land is abandoned.
No, I hear you. It seems like there's a lot that's going on that's not being addressed by the current government, Yes. So now
Hello?
You want to find. Welcome back to Backroomconvos. On this week's episode, we have Gauteng Chairperson of Arise political movement, Lillian Mothoa. And I apologize for the last segment we got cut. I think it's because of reception. And I wanted to say something, before we got cut, to you, Lillian. I just wanted to know from you personally, you joined Arise political movement. I just want to know, what is your why?
Lesego?
Did you get the question?
No. You're saying? Sorry about that.
I'm saying now to you that you joined Arise political party with your own reasons. As someone who's looking at this from the outside, I just want to know your why. Why are you joining? Why? Because also leading up to my next question, I want us to also engage on the electoral bill to talk a bit about that. So, but then now I just want to find your why. What is your why?
Okay, my why is that firstly, I personally sick and tired of this regime that has been having this governance for more than 30 years, close to 30 years. It's 3 decades. We don't see any changes. We don't see any progressive. We are not living in any advanced systems. We are still behind with catching up with other countries, catching up with international. We're not meeting those standards.
I hear you. So I get your why now. Can you hear me now? Okay, I think she can't hear us. Can you hear me? Lillian, can you hear me?
Hello, Lesego?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, not clearly.
Whoa.
Yes, so I can
hear you. So I do know your why now. I do know your why. There's a lot of political parties outside, but you chose to join Arise. So let's talk about it. Why Arise? Whereas there's still EFF, there's still, IFP or ANC, whatever. There's still a lot of political parties. There's UAT. I think that's also another political party that's still new. You could have joined those, but you chose to join Arise. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so me joining Arise is that firstly, I'm a youth. And I'd like to be part of making policies. I'd like to be involved in making regulations. I'd like to be involved in how I want to see my future, not just anybody else, my future. Say, okay, now this is the ideas, this is how we want things as youth. How can we implement them? How can we work around new systems that is advancing, but yet we are leading backwards with other parties. ANC in short are the failures. Other political parties, I've never had any interest in it because ANC was always being voted by our grandmothers, the seniors. But we are saying, okay, we are majority of youth. So as majority of youth, we want to live in the new industrial revolution. How can that work around? But if you look at the leaders of other political parties, they're still not meeting the level that we had. They're still not going to think for us. They're still, as you look, Will, seeing Ace having his own political party, we're still saying we're going to move backwards. We don't want to move backwards. We want to move forward. Don't just make the rules and ideas and final decision for us. We don't want anybody who's going to make decisions, but we're saying get us involved so that you know how to work around it. So here we're saying we're giving people chances. We'll say, okay, bring up here's an idea. Are you a business person? What are you? How you want to work around it? How can we overcome the challenges collectively? Let's create our own code of conduct. How can we make sure there's better and greater service delivery in our own provinces?
No, I do hear you, but this brings me to my next question. You talk your reasons. There's an electoral bill that's being put in place, whereas you could have run independently. Why not do that? Why not?
Remember, some things in life you got to work collectively. We need each other to achieve the common goal. So take people of the like-minded people, say, hey, I've got an idea. This is how I want to come up with my own political party or so. But if you put people of the same like-minded like yourself, we can work around it. We believe in collaboration than competition. I mean, if we want to compete, if we want the same goal, why compete? Just work together. We need each other. We say, let's extend our ideas. Our potentials. Let's get all of them.
I think we got cut a bit. I think because of the reception is very bad. We do apologize. So we'll keep on asking, sister, can you hear us? I think we'll keep on being in touch with Ma'am Lillian Mothoa. She's also a part of the youth. She was still addressing issues as to why she's not running independently via the electoral bill, and she believes in collaborations. Can you hear us now?
Yes. I can hear you, Lesego.
Yes. In collaborations, she was saying that. So for people who didn't get that, I was just clarifying to say these are her thoughts as to the electoral bill is concerned. You know what I mean? So, sister, this is my next question. Corruption is a big thing in our country. It's very big, and to an extent you'd say it's being normalized. We just speak about it like it's no longer a big deal, cool drink. We even have those in songs that I believe people like Nasty C, the artist, they also speak about that freely in songs because now it's a thing in our country. It's a part of us, and it's the one of the biggest reasons we are not going anywhere as a country, right? So I'm saying to you now, I want to find out from you, like, what are some of the things that you are, like, some of the measures that you are going to implement? Because I think that one of the parties that have the potential of making a change in this country is Arise. But from you to us, like, what are some of the measures you think you can put in place to combat corruption in our country?
Okay, we had one of the youth was saying, and while we were doing our mobilization in our community, saying, Chairperson Lillian, I'd like to ask you this. If, am I listening?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So we were doing some mobilization, and one of the residents, as we were doing our campaign, asked me, I want to ask you something. It's concerning corruption. I said, what do you think of Ramaphosa's corruption? Leadership, under his leadership, the corruption under his leadership, and the leadership under Jacob Zuma's leadership. What do you think about that? I said, firstly, who say there's a small corruption and there's a big corruption? Corruption is corruption. We cannot embrace corruption. We cannot condone corruption. They must be... Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Okay, I'm just having some funny sounds. I think it's a network problem. So we are saying corruption is corruption. Regardless which one is small, which one is big. Corruption is corruption. So we are saying to them, let's not let those people make it fashionable for us. That it is how it is. There should be civil society of transparency. There should be accountability. There should be a system that says, okay, now here it is, we are open. We are open and transparent, and we are saying we are fair. This is how things go. But if, as people say, which one was better, it start to give me the perspective that people are not thinking logically. Where is this coming from? Why are you condoning this? So we're saying the measures that must be taken is that let's create the system of accountabilities where people must, because if we say let's be making a Zondo commission, how long will that Zondo commission take? How long is the Zondo commission going to take us? 50 years, 70 years?
It's for sure going to take us a bit of time for us to get to a point where, as a nation, we are free from corruption. Can you hear me? For sure. I think she was still addressing some of the issues as far as corruption, how to combat corruption in our country. And I just want, can you hear us? I think some of the issues that I want to address with the chairperson of Arise political party, Mrs. Lillian Mothoa, is the issue around the curriculum. I want us to touch a bit about that on that as well. We did touch on the issue of the electoral bill, as you have asked, but then now this is the next question that I have for you. So the next question that I have for you is that what efforts are being made to engage and involve the young people in the political process in Gauteng?
Oh,
did you get the question?
I heard the last part you were saying how engaging.
So the question was, I want to repeat it for you. The question was, what efforts are being made to engage and involve young people in the political process in Gauteng?
Oh, okay. So we've been with youth. We've been working with youth. We've been listening to all their problems, what are their issues, and we made them realize that we need each other as we are the majority. We've been saying to them, okay, for those, what kind of help are you needing as an individual? How can we empower you? Some youth were reaching out saying, okay, fine, I've got business ideas, I don't know where to go. Some were saying, our government, they just said, no, there's no funding. So there were so many stories. So we were saying to them, okay, fine, now here, this is how it goes. We as Arise South Africa, we're saying, okay, let's take this situation. Let's take this into the next level. Let's make sure there's an entrance in the new market for us, because they say the market, to enter into the market, it's difficult. But we're saying, how is that possible? It's difficult if we have to work with the government. We still have to work with departments to fund our own people. So we've been going from one place to another, showing youth, okay, how can we work around it? How can we help? Especially for those who are in disadvantaged communities. We say, okay, let's also alleviate poverty. Let's alleviate poverty. Let's start helping youth to start choosing at a very young age. Let's encourage them, okay, this is how the future looks like. The economy is gonna be impacted and influenced by the innovation and technology. Start looking into things like new educational system, where there's science, there's engineering, there's vocational technical institution. Let's look into those kind of courses. We're encouraging them. We want them to make sure that we are making sure that our economy is reaching that level, not just for us only, but also for the future generation that is coming after us. So it was very impactful to be working with young youth. And also we were making some social events with the youth where we can go as youth, go hiking, explore more, talk more about our objectives and how we can engage. People are in control.
I think we are breaking. We can't really hear us. She can't really hear us. So for people who just joined us on the line, we have Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Party, Lillian Mothoa. After the break, we'll be asking her more questions, and we'll be joined by Miss World South Africa finalist by the name of Motheo Mokoto. She'll be asking Sister Lillian Mothoa more questions. Welcome to Backroomconvos with Lesego M. On today's episode, we have Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Party, Lillian Mothoa. And on the guest panel, we have Miss World South Africa, Motheo Mokoto. You've had her on the podcast before. So she will be asking Mom Lillian some of the questions that she has for herself. How are you, Motheo?
I'm good. Good afternoon, everybody.
No, it's a pleasure having you again on the podcast. It's a pleasure. So, do you have any questions for Mom Lillian?
I do. Good afternoon, Mom Lillian. Thank you so much for the opportunity and for the time, for being here with us and answering our questions. I am just going to jump straight into it. My first question is, I'm curious to know what inspired you to become involved in politics and to take on the role of chairperson for the Arise Political Party in Gauteng.
That's a very good question.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't get your name.
Motheo Mokoto. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, I'm Motheo. So, me being in politics, it's not just politics, it's a political movement that wants to make change. So, when we say want to make change, is that we want to see our country in general and also our province having progressive in terms of economical, in terms of all those kind of disaster that we are facing in terms of load shedding, crime, unemployment. So we say, if I join this party and I'm not since I'm eager and so enthusiastic about the future, how about just bring also my own knowledge and my own capabilities in this capacity to innovate something that can bring changes into our own people. And also entering as a chairperson to show ladies out there, females out there, that it's possible. You can become at any level, doesn't matter, as long as you just want to make change. So me being a chairperson, say, I'm not just here to represent women. I'm just here as myself, say, I know I can do this. I know I can bring changes. I know I can transform our own province.
That's true. That's true. Thank you so much. I think it was Miss Mambansile Mlambo Mluka who said that there's no greater force for change, for peace, for justice and democracy, for inclusive economic growth than the world of empowered women. And I think you really touched beautifully on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you can go ahead, Motheo.
Okay, cool. My other question is, what key initiatives or policies do you believe are necessary to address some of the pressing issues we face within the province? And if you have any solutions in terms of like, you can also elaborate on that.
Okay, I would base it on education. I would like to base it firstly on education. Seeing lots of youth, the issue that we have with youth due to unemployment or underemployment is that you find they're taking courses or choosing courses that are not even aligned with the demand of our own economy. So we're saying, let's start as youth, align our choices of courses with the demand of our market, with our demand of our economy, so that we can mitigate high unemployment, And we also like to say, in terms of health, let's bring some structure. Let's feed and expand our our public health facilities, building new hospitals, clinics to elevate this unhealthy environment we're living in. People are living in areas that they don't even have water, electricity, even till today. It's so disheartening. So we are saying, let's work together. Let's be practical about the reality that we are facing.
Thank you. As a Miss World South Africa finalist, at the core of the pageant lies beauty with a purpose. And that just speaks to, being engaged in the community and being a change maker, And I like the fact that you mentioned wanting to bring about change when you answered the first question. And I also describe myself as somebody who is a change maker, who's trying to change perspectives, narratives, behaviors, and ultimately lives. So you touching on education as well as health it's speaking to me because my advocacy also speaks to education and the health system and just ensuring that people engage some health issues with proper understanding for effective, so that they can effectively manage their health. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And congrats, by the way.
Thanks
for reaching that level of life. That's an achievement.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, can I just ask a question before you ask your next question, Motheo?
Of course, you can go ahead.
So, can you outline the party's approach to sustainable development and environmental conservation in Gauteng? You get the question? Sister, did you get the question? I think reception is very bad. Yeah, did you get the question?
Oh, what was the question?
The question was, can you outline the party's approach to to sustainable development and environmental conservation in Gauteng?
Okay, when we're looking at the sustainability, we firstly know that definitely we want to make sure there's less starvation and elevate poverty, provide healthy quality of life. But we also want to say that let's promote renewable energies so that we can reduce the droughts. Let's be cautious when using what is it called, the natural resources. We're saying let's be insensitive of it, use it when it's necessary, and also make sure there's less waste.
No, we can't get you. We can't get you. You can go ahead. You can get you.
It's hard to find a phone line.
Can you hear us? So for people,
So can you please kindly go and follow us and rate the show?
and we do, for people who are not aware who we have on the episode today, we have the Gauteng Chairperson of Arise political party by the name of Lillian Mothoa, and on our guest panel we have Motheo Mokoto, who is Miss World South Africa Semi.
Finally,
So, Mom,
yeah, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake.
so Mom Lillian, can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
Yes, I didn't get a huge part of what you were saying on the question that I asked you, but then having to have a conversation with Motheo on our past episode, and she highlighted some of the points such as period poverty being high in our country. And do you have any measures that you have in place to combat that?
Okay. Well, we're just saying that in terms of poverty, we're saying that if we start processing some minerals that we have locally and start exporting them once they are finished goods, not just exporting them as natural resources. No, we're saying let's process them in our own local areas, then export them as finished goods so that they don't sell it back into our own country. Because one thing we realized that there's resources in our own country, they're exporting it, bring it back as a finished goods. But we're saying, no, let's not do that. Let's maximize our potential of these resources. And we're also trying to say that our community must have building structures. Must have building structures where we promote entrepreneurship, we promote businesses to enrich those communities, be farmers, be in agriculture. We say, let's start to work together. Let's start to improve our standard of living,
No, I hear you. So I just wanna say something, education. This is on education, I do have a friend of mine who is self-funding his education, given that the government doesn't have platforms that fund students, like platforms that fund art students. For an example, I'll make an example with Tusombedu. She is an actor and she went abroad. We'll speak about people like Trevor, he's a comedian, people who did theater. There's no bursaries for those people, There's no bursaries for those people. Like, and going back to free education for all, but why does it have to exclude some of the art students in our country, but we celebrate them when they make it big abroad? Like, do you have anything to say around that?
Yes, we believe that there should be promoting more publication and also media in our own country. It is not promoted. They are not taken serious. They are nobody say, okay, this is because they don't see the future of it. Why? It's because where they're focusing on just media. They're just focusing on the media publication. It's also not even paying attention to it. But we are saying, yes, let's start this new system that allows our people also to be recognized, and let it be, because there is resource for everybody in our own country. Let it be inclusive for everybody. Everyone has access. Everybody has access, must have access, and must utilize it. So it is also one of the things that we were also talking about it as Arise policies that I'm also going to share with you once I get it. I'll share with you. We're saying let there be more, and also promoting in terms of fourth industrial. We're saying take your business online, share it, let it be global. So we're saying let it be global. And as for the bursaries also, we're saying those already have made it, approach different businesses, approach so that we can work in partnership, because we also believe in partnership. We say let's work in partnership and make sure that everybody is inclusive in this new system, because they're feeling neglected while there is resource for them.
Okay, no, I hear you. So like, I just wanna ask a question to say, we are going into 2024, the elections are there, the seats, everything, the detailing is all there. But then, like, what are some of the most, like, what are you prioritizing as a political party at this moment? You say, as a political party, this is what we want to achieve in the next, because the reason I'm asking this is that China is on its fifth year plan, 5-year plan. I think it's on its fifth 5-year plan. It's on its fifth 5-year plan. So, and if you also have plans around there to say, like, as a right, this is what we want to prioritize for the next 2 years, for the next 3 years, to make sure that we make sure that this is covered. What are some of those things that you have? Like,
okay, firstly, we definitely elevating poverty. We are saying let's make sure we elevate poverty. I mean, poverty is affecting us every day. Poverty, let it be through load shedding, it's causing us poverty because the businesses are shutting down. You know, and we also saying so that to elevate poverty through us just making sure that we are creating employment. We want to create employment and okay, now here we are, we're going to open certain industries that would benefit us. Because saying we've got resources for everyone. Our manifesto says there is resources for everyone, meaning that we can work around and give us the space so that we can utilize all those things that are not utilized. So we're saying, okay, as community, let's build a structure so that we make sure that we're all uplifted to ensure that we're living in an equal opportunity. Everybody must get their own equal opportunity. And also making sure that women, children, special people in disability, we're saying to them, we see you, you are inclusive, you matter to us, you are inclusive, you matter. So we think we want to build our own economies, you know, so that we can boost our own GDP, because we really need to wake up. People, we are moving backwards with this regime we're in that is having experience in governance, yet nothing is happening. So we're saying in these 5 years, they must give us a chance, prove it to them, show them how things are done, and let all those old people be advisors wherever they can be advisors. We don't know where because they failed for close to 30 years. But for us, we're saying we can bring unity, we can bring pride, we can bring love for our South Africa, we want to promote our own people's branding, our own people's local businesses. We want to say, let's work together and develop the best infrastructure that we can.
No, that's interesting. For people who just joined us now, on the line we have Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Movement, Lillian Mothoa, and on our guest panel we have Miss World South Africa, Motheo Mokoto. We've had her on the previous episode and we spoke at length about a lot of things concerning the economy of our country. When we come back, we'll be asking with Lillian Mothoa more questions. Stay tuned.
Thank you. I think I'm moving on. Good. That's it.
Welcome to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, Lesego M. And our guest for this week's episode is Gauteng Chairperson of Arise Political Movement, Lillian Mothoa. And on our guest panel, we have Motheo Mokoto, who is Miss World South Africa. Why do I keep saying fine?
The last time it was quarter-finalist. Now it's semi-finalist.
Like, why do I keep on saying that? But we have Motheo, who is a top 12 finalist. And for those of you who haven't bought tickets, I'll share the link. Motheo will send us the link so you guys can buy the tickets to the live event that's happening on the 28th of October. So Mom Lillian is back again. You know, I don't know if you're comfortable with me calling Mom Lillian or Sister Lillian or, just Lillian. I don't know if that is so
making feel more older now. Mom Lillian.
Yeah, I do get that it's making you a bit old because I'm like, Mom.
But I don't mind. Yeah, ma'am. Me.
Because I'm like, I'm not sure, man. I'm just thinking about it now. I'm not sure if it's the right part. So, I just want you to talk about some of the things concerning the political party. Like, can you please share with us some of the successful collaborations you've had with like other political parties or organizations? Did you get the question? I don't know if it's me, but I think everybody else can hear me. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I think maybe Mom Lillian, I'm sorry, again, Sister Lillian, whichever one works, whichever one works. But I think I don't know. But I think we'll keep on trying here to come back and answer some of the questions we have. Motheo, talk about us. Talk with us. The event. Good, Laura. We haven't spoken in a while, even.
It has been a minute. There's a lot to catch up on. Yeah, there's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
Before that, I just want to say thank you for inviting me as a guest speaker. I'm truly honored. I'm really grateful that we made like such a great connection.
I'm very grateful for that.
Now actually a finalist. The journey has been long, but
yeah. So Mom Lillian, back to you. Can you hear us? I think she still can't hear us. So Mom Lillian. So I think she still can hear. Can you please try and get her on the second line? So yeah, you were saying, tell us. So where do people get the tickets?
So you can get the tickets to the final, which is happening on the 28th of October at the State Theatre on web tickets. There is a link that's currently circulating, so I'll definitely share it with you, Lesego, so you can share with your audience. But even if they go on to web tickets and search Miss World South Africa, they'll be able to see them.
Who's the host? I know for sure because I do for the.
Oh my!
I did right.
No, agree for this one. It's the Mini Dlamini, the Diamond of South Africa.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, she'll be hosting the first ever Miss World South Africa. I think she's in a 2-year contract, so not just this one, the next one as well. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Big things are happening. Really, really exciting things are happening. The organization has been so intentional in making sure that this is not just, a one-time opportunity where you walk the ramp, but the whole journey has been filled with lots and lots of opportunities, exposure, engagement, learning, and a whole lot of growth. I have grown. I have really, really grown.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can hear your mom Lillian is back with us now. We finally got her back. Can you hear me? Mom Lillian? Mom Lillian? I think we still let's get on the last line even so we can, ask her the last question. Motheo still has questions, of course, so she'll be asking the questions and I'll be listening out. Lillian, can you hear me? I think we're still struggling to get her back on the line. I think Motheo, again, share some of the highlights that you had. Because I know it's...
Oh my goodness, there's been so many. But I think we had a pageant boot camp. So we went to Rustenburg for 5 days where we had a whole lot of workshops, photo shoots. And my highlight of the pageant boot camp was literally shooting in some in-print outfits. So we had an in-print photo shoot, and the photo shoot centered around, just highlights, juxtaposing fashion. So we shot in a watering hole that's actually drying up, and it was really amazing. But also, not just being amazing, but the fact that we were able to highlight climate change within that photo shoot speaks to the ethos of the pageant, which is beauty with a purpose. So, we are being purposely progressive about, impacting the world, changing the world. I mentioned earlier that I'm here to change narratives and perspectives, and climate change is something that's, affecting all of us at the moment. None of us are immune to it. So it was great that the organization was able to give us a platform to just, explore how beauty and passion and purpose just gel together.
No, that's very nice, man. That's very nice. And I do know that I don't know which day was it. Was it yesterday or Tuesday where you had an interview on Motheo FM?
Yes, it was on Tuesday.
Oh, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you for that. So for someone who wants to join, who's a young, because I think a huge part of our demographic, it's young people. So what are some of the tips and advice you give to them, as someone who wants to be in the space of pageantry,
I'd say just do it. Just start. Start wherever you are, start with whatever you have, but also start with yourself. So a lot of the times when you enter spaces like pageantry, there's going to be a lot of, it's a competition first of all, so there's going to be comparison. So when you enter the space, you need to know who you are. You need to be yourself. Hi, Mom Lillian.
Hi. No. Yeah. So what was that? Yeah. And I apologize on the listeners' behalf. We've been trying to get on back onto the line, so because we had a couple of questions, but I'll let Motheo ask the question that she has.
Cool. So Mom Lillian, you touched on education, and I mean, we are all aware that education is often seen as a pathway to success. So I just want to ask, what steps will you guys as the Arise Party, once you're in power, what steps will you take to improve the quality of education within the province, particularly for those who are in vulnerable positions and disadvantaged backgrounds?
Okay, thank you, Motheo. Firstly, the education is inclusive to everybody, regardless of your color, regardless of your ability. We're saying education is for us all. So how we're going to go around it is that we want to start with also focusing also on the educators to start having some new skills also, so that they are able, because even a person who studied to become a medical doctor, they still say, I don't know how to become an entrepreneur. But we're also saying in our system of education, we should let entrepreneurial skill be part of the curriculum, so that people don't become stranded. Because it was heartbreaking to see some of the doctors, after they've finished their thing, they say we are unemployed. We're like, okay, open your own surgery, open your own consultation. We're like, I don't know how to do that because I don't have basic ideas, I don't have basic knowledge about business. So we're saying, let's also educate in our own system. Let's also be educational on the entrepreneurial side, so they can be more creative and more problem solving, helping ourselves and also in helping our economy. So also saying that we should prioritize knowledge on innovation, as I said, and technology, and make sure that people from the early childhood, that there is proper education that is given to them, paying attention to them, how to work around it, how to become more, but how to become more broader, broad in a sense that you can solve problems, broader in a sense that you can become an innovator, broader in a way that you can solve our problems in our own community or our province or country in large. Because we want to focus also on enlarging our economy, having our own economy new structure. So that is why we're saying, let's equip ourselves in education so that we open new industries that will bring wealth into our own country.
Yeah, I see. So, before you ask your next question, can I please ask a question? So, this is the question: how will Gauteng Arise ensure inclusivity and representation of marginalized groups within the party?
So what we're saying is that let there be equality, let it be equal, let it be fairness, let's promote our women who've got the power, who've got the capacity in leadership. We're saying to them, let it be, not just say, no, you're a woman, you're not allowed to do this. We're saying, no, let there be inclusivity in our own structures. Let it be accessible for our own people, regardless of their background, regardless of their kind of their skin. But we're saying, let it be fairness. Let it be fairness in our own structure.
Yeah, no, thank you for your answer. Before Motheo, you head on to ask your next question rather. I'd like us to go on to an ad break. For those of you who haven't followed, rated the show, can you please do that on any DSP that you listen your podcast from? On the episode today, we have the Gauteng Chairperson of our Rise Political Movement, which is Lillian Mothoa, and we also have on our panel Motheo Mokoto, who is Miss World South Africa finalist. We've had on. Yeah, we've had on the show. We've had on the show before and we touched at length about a lot of things. But when we come back, we have more questions for Mom Lillian. For Mama. Thank you. What happened?
Perfect, Madam. Você me precisa porra muito. O seu
Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, Lesego M. On today's episode, we have Gauteng Chairperson of our Rise movement, Lillian Mothoa. And on our guest panel, we have we have Motheo Mokoto, who is Miss World South Africa finalist. And we've had Mama for the past 1 hour, 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And we touched on a lot of issues regarding policy, curriculum, and some of the electoral bill, even the land. We've touched on a lot of issues with Mama, and now we are about to conclude. But before we conclude on this episode, I would like to ask Mama two more questions. Let's just say 3. Then we conclude the segment. So the question, I'll just dive straight into the question. So the question is, what measures does Gauteng Arise movement propose to bridge the gap between rural and urban areas within the province?
Okay, thank you, Lesego. What we have started, we've got our own database where we've got different leaders from different regions, different places. So we're working with them, we're saying to them, okay, let's all sit and talk. Where are you based? Where are you from? So that we can reach the whole region, so we can reach the whole province and accommodate everybody in different areas, whether rural, townships, suburb, whatever it is. We're saying, let's spread out. Let's all spread out and start reaching out to our own people and listen to what they have to say and tell them about our objectives, tell them about our aim of our movement and work with them. So to reach out Gauteng, for us, it's possible. And we also, because we're mobilizing, we're creating social events and different areas so that people can reach out to us. Probably also trying to open other offices so that we are reachable also for those that can't be where we are based for now. But we are everywhere. We've got leaders from all over Gauteng, working aligned with them. Yes.
Okay, so the second question of the 3 questions that I have is, can you provide examples of, okay, this one, I think this one you did answer if I'm not mistaken. Can you provide examples of successful community engagement initiatives that Gauteng Arise has been involved in?
Okay, we've been in Hammanskraal, we've been in Tembisa, we've been assisting by donating things that we can donate, the basic needs. Some of them were just saying, okay, this is the best that we can, because we are also have just started, but we say we are reaching out to the people who are able to say, yes, here we are, would like you guys to help because we also want to work with we encourage partnership. We're reaching out to different people, say, okay, besides taking out our own money, who are the organizations that are willing to give us the things that we can donate to our own community. So yes, we've been reaching out to different communities. It was success, and hopefully we'll be also to another community so we can assist. And we encourage business people also to reach out to us, community individuals that say, okay, we'd like to help you guys to reach out to those who are disadvantaged, things like that.
Yeah, thank you for your answer. So for people who want to join Arise, what are some of the things they need to do? Like which places can they go to engage with some of the members of Arise?
Okay, to join Arise, we're living in the 4IR. You can take out your phone, access, we're online. You can go on our website, it's arisesa.org. You can join us on our social media. It's Arise South Africa, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, IG. You can reach out to us. Because if you reach out on our website, you can also register with us and say, yes, I've got the same values as a political movement. I share the same value with you guys. I'd like to join it. You say yes, just go there on our website, fill up a form that says membership there. You fill it in, you join us, we engage with you, you bring ideas. We've got our own WhatsApp, that's where we make our own engagement. On social media, we're also reachable there. And we'll also give you people who are around your area to connect with, to create more communications online and also physical, as we'll also be doing our own mobilization. If you want to join our mobilization, you're welcome. If you just want to join our social events, you're welcome. So it's open for everybody, and we encourage everybody to say, let's make the difference for our own Gauteng province. Let's make transformation in our own province. Let's also make difference for our own selves to have a better, prosperous economy, and also self-empowered to become better in our own communities and be leaders, become leaders also in our own community.
No, thank you for your answer. So we've reached the end of this episode. Do you have any last words you'd like to share with us?
Okay, well, I'd like to say Arise South Africa is for everyone. It's not just for youth. We can also encourage our elders to join us because they want the future for their kids, for betterment of our economy. We encourage everybody to join, not just youth. And we also like to say, let's make the difference. There is resources for everyone, meaning that there's nothing limited for anybody. Everybody inclusive into having a better future, into having a prosperous economy. We say, join us, let's make the difference.
Thank you for everybody who's tuning into this episode. For those of you who haven't bought tickets to the finals of Miss World South Africa, we'll leave the links in the descriptions. On the 28th, it's happening on the 28th of October in State Theatre. Motheo, everybody that voted Motheo the last time, everything you'll find in the description bar. So from my end, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the episode and enlightening us as the youth of the country. And given that even our podcast listeners, majority is youth, mostly in Gauteng even, and I'd really like to appreciate you for joining us on this episode. Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, Lesego.
For those of you who haven't shared, liked, rated the episode on any DSP that you listen your podcast from, can you kindly do that? Even for our international audience, you can also rate the show now. I think Spotify fixed it and Apple as well. They added that into it, so you can also rate the show from those platforms. And we appreciate and love your support each and every time. Let's meet on the next episode with another beautiful guest. Cheers. Stay blessed. Bye.